Our goal at Ridgewood Talks has long been to celebrate the leaders and legends of the village. And now we feature the best of Ridgewood business leaders. Ridgewood Talks and Ridgewood Living Magazine present the Business Spotlight, hosted by Jeannie Johnson.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Ridgewood Talks. You know that we love shining a light on the people who make Ridgewood such an incredible place to live. And today we have a returning guest who does all kinds of things. Seriously, I don't know how you fit it all in, honestly. Megan Murphy is back. If you missed our first conversation in May of 2023, you can check it out on Apple Podcasts or go to our website, ridgewoodtalks.com. Now, Megan, you have not slowed down a bit since our first conversation, so we've got plenty of new ground to cover. And for those of you who don't know Megan, she is a Bergen County native, born and raised in Ramsey, but she's called Ridgewood home for the past 24 years. She is crushing it in her 10th year as a real estate agent with Keller, and that's just one piece of what she does. She also coordinates an annual food drive for Social Service Association, and she partners with Sir Junk for all kinds of donation drives. Now think of business attire, electronics, plastic toys, even pet supplies. And somehow she also finds time to run two big Facebook groups. One group is called 40 Bags in 40 Days, and it helps people declutter their homes. And the other is the Sandwich Club with Megan Murphy. It's a place for those of us juggling life between grown kids and aging parents. Oh, and did I mention she also writes, yes, that quarterly column for Ridgewood Living Magazine. Like I said, she's doing it all, and we're so happy to have her back in the studio. So, Megan, welcome back. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited. So, first of all, let's talk about this gig with Ridgewood Living Magazine. How did that all start?
So we met, when you and I met, our children were attending the Ridgewood Cooperative Nursery School.
Yes.
I also met Martha Fickinger there, and she approached me with the amazing opportunity to be part of Ridgewood Living Magazine. So obviously I took her up on it,
Right.
and I'm in my, I think this is my third year.
Probably,
yes.
Yeah. It's a great magazine. I love how they feature, well, I hate to say it, but some of the cover families are not so great, I'm just going to say, but most of them are really wonderful. All of them, but one has really been wonderful. I'm just kidding. Because I'm just talking about the one that I was on.
That's so
Anyway, the content inside the magazine is great. So tell us what you write about and some of the things that you want to communicate to the readers.
Sure. So I, like you said earlier, I've been a real estate agent in Ridgewood this is my 10th year. But I didn't want the column to be your typical real estate column. I wanted it to be more about the community of Ridgewood and what I love about the community. So I have highlighted a few of the programs that I run. I've highlighted the things that I love about the town of Ridgewood. And I have a lot of fun thinking of different creative ways to talk about our community without making it all about real estate, but enticing people to want to live in Ridgewood.
Here. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You've done so many incredible things. I think one of the things that you had talked about doing, I'm not sure if it really took off yet, but you were talking about having like a little seminar on how to own a home, because a lot of your clients are first-time home owners. Is that correct?
Right. So in the past 10 years, I've run a few different types of seminars. One is for first-time home buyers, so what to expect going through the process of buying a home. I've also done some seminars for home sellers. Maybe you're not planning to sell now, but maybe within the next 10 years. So what types of projects might you want to prioritize over the next 10 years to get the most out of your home when you're ready to sell? And more recently, sort of in conjunction with the Sandwich Club, I've started running estate planning seminars with an estate attorney.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so smart. Well, what are some of those projects that people should start thinking about if they're 10 years out from selling their home?
Sure. So any new buyer wants to look at your home as a blank canvas. So you definitely want to take a look at your paint colors. You want to make sure today's buyers like to have everything already done for them.
Right.
They don't really want to do a lot of projects. So you want to make sure that it is pretty much ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
They're more interested in moving into a home that is ready to live in than taking on projects.
Turnkey.
Exactly.
Let me move my furniture in. I don't want to deal with anything else. Yeah, I
Exactly.
got
That's
that.
what most of the young buyers are interested in. I call them the cream puff houses. So they're just perfectly
Oh,
move-in ready.
yeah. And probably all white.
Yes, white and
Yeah.
gray. And
Yeah.
yes. So those are you want to have a great entryway. You the first thing that the buyers are looking at while I'm fumbling with the lockbox
Yes.
is the front door and the entryway. So you want to make sure that that's
so
freshly
smart. Yeah,
painted,
yeah.
fresh flowers, maybe mums or something by the front door so that they're not looking at a dead flower pot.
Yeah. Or
while I'm trying to unlock.
Yeah, for sure. And so what about like bathrooms and kitchens? What do you think about that?
Yep. So you get a great return on investment if you renovate your bathrooms and your kitchen. In this market right now, we have such low inventory that that's not quite the top priority.
Yeah.
I mean, you can maximize as a seller, you can maximize how much you'll earn selling your home
Right.
if those projects are completed. But because of there's such low inventory and such high demand right now, those things don't necessarily have to be done.
Okay, so talk to me about that. So what would the return on my investment be? Like what percentage would I get back if I renovated my kitchen and my bathroom?
So an updated kitchen is going to be about 79%. So you're
that's
not
pretty
going to
good.
get all of your
Yeah.
money back, but it is going to be pretty good. Believe it or not, the best return on investment is your garage door. That's the
Stop
number
it.
one.
What is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
So
interesting. Well, I'll have to keep that in mind. So, all right. So, but my bathroom, what if I wanted to renovate my bathroom? What's my ROI on that?
it's about, I would say it's about 60 to 70%
Okay.
as well.
So what you should do, like, is this a good strategy? So if you're thinking of renovating, of selling your home in 10 years, go ahead and renovate that bathroom 5 years before you're ready to sell it, so then you can enjoy it for a couple of years, and then that
Exactly.
money that you lost is all spent in just enjoying
Exactly.
your home.
Yes.
Right. Okay. good.
100%.
All right.
got
Well,
it.
that's good. Okay. So you said this is a tough market right now. Give me a little bit more on that.
So I just looked at the market before I came in tonight, actually, and there are 9 homes on the market. 3 of them are already in attorney review, so that means
wow.
there's 6
6
homes on the
homes.
market.
What would be Oh, go ahead.
2 of them are under $1 million, so there's not a lot for young families to be
Right.
purchasing.
Right.
And then when you couple it with the higher interest rates and people overbidding to get those homes because there is such high demand, it's very tough for young
Yeah, I'm
buyers.
sure it is. And I didn't think about the interest rates too, factoring in. What would be the typical amount of homes at this time of year? Because it's kind of getting up to where it's really high sale time, right?
Right. Now we say that the typical spring market is starting earlier every year. It's kind of the unofficial kickoff is Super Bowl Sunday or Super Bowl
Interesting.
weekend. But it's kind of, ever since COVID, it's been sort of a year-round market because things are flying off as fast as they're being
Yeah.
put on. So you basically, as a home buyer right now, you have one weekend to see the home and prepare yourself to make a bid.
Wow. So, how many homes would be typical for this time of year? You said there's really 6 available right now.
Right. When I first started, there would be maybe between April, May, there were like 125
Oh my
homes on the market
gosh.
at that time. And you had a decent amount of time to make a decision.
Wow.
Right now you're really up against the wall trying to.
I wonder what that's all
figure it
about.
out.
Is it because empty nesters are staying here? Because I'm an empty nester and I'm staying here because where else am I going to go? I live in an affordable home. I don't pay very much in taxes comparatively. And so we're just sticking around. We have no intention of leaving Ridgewood. Do you think that that's part of it? Is that, old timers like me are wanting to stay?
I feel more of the issue is that because the interest rates are high, Back when I first started
Right.
about 10 years ago, someone would be in a starter home first, and then they would
Right.
move up to a larger home to accommodate their growing family.
Right.
Now they don't want to give up that 2 or 3% interest rate
Right.
to buy a bigger
Yeah,
home
that
and
makes
spend
sense.
that much more money. So they're
Yes.
staying put. Maybe they're adding on, but they're not looking to take on a 7%
Yeah.
interest rate for a bigger house and more spending.
Yeah. That makes
So
sense.
that is limiting the amount of people who are moving around and the amount of inventory that's on the market.
So this is going to segue right into the 40 bags and 40 days situation. I want to talk about that because there's a couple of points of interest here. So if you're living in that smaller home and you're feeling overrun by it, maybe it's time to declutter. Or if you're getting ready to move, it's probably time to declutter. And then this brings in your the sandwich club with Megan. When you're trying to help your loved ones who are aging, you want to encourage them to sort of declutter too. So tell me how this whole 40 bags and 40 days thing started.
Absolutely. So it's always a good time to declutter.
Yes, I agree.
But the way it started is a few years ago, I want to say maybe 7 years ago, I saw the challenge online. It was called 40 Bags in 40 Days. And the challenge was to get rid of one bag, any size bag of items from your home every day for a 40-day period. And that was intriguing to me. So I did the challenge myself. And whenever I do any kind of challenge, I like to post it
Yeah.
because it gives me accountability.
Right.
So I did the challenge myself. I had a few friends come up to me and say that they wanted to try it. So the next year, we made a small Facebook group. Maybe there were 5 of us, and
I might have been one.
I believe you were. And we did the challenge together, and we would post pictures of what we were getting rid of, and maybe we were on the fence about whether we should keep something. We would get some opinions. Over time, it has morphed and grown so that now we have over 1,000 members.
Wow.
They're
Oh
all
my
over the
gosh.
country. And it's not so much, it is absolutely about decluttering, but it's equally about finding an appropriate and responsible place to get rid of those items.
Oh, I love that.
So we're not just throwing everything in the trash to end
Right.
up in the landfill.
You're reducing,
Right.
reusing, and recycling.
So it becomes a big community event because the schools have fundraisers where they're collecting clothing. A church will have a fundraiser where they're collecting cell phones or whatever
the
it may
books,
be.
like for College Club,
Right,
yeah.
for College Club.
Right.
So there are tons of different community collections going on.
Right.
And we post flyers from any of those groups in our Facebook
That's
page.
amazing.
And we also share information. The other day I was at the Walgreens pharmacy and I saw their receptacle for unused medications. So we'll post about places where you can get rid of items in a responsible way as well. And then that morphed into me networking with Sir Junk.
Yeah, I was going to ask. If that
Yes.
helped. Yeah.
So they are a junk company, and I get along very well with the people with Sir Junk. So we collaborate on collections. We are about to do our 3rd, but the first one we started large.
Well, so before you go into that, tell
Sure.
me, who is Sir Junk and what do they actually do?
Sure. So Sir Junk is a company that will come to your house, and it's basically a junk company. So you can say, I
Tell
want to
them,
get
take
rid
that,
of
take
this,
that,
this.
take that. And then
Yes.
what do they do with it?
They look for ways to responsibly get
gosh.
rid of the items as
Okay.
well. So they'll bring them to maybe a Habitat Restore or another charity
Yeah.
place collecting
I gotcha.
furniture
Yeah.
or items. If they can.
Right.
If it's possible, they'll do it. So we partnered up, and our first big collection was for plastic toys, which so we're kind of getting a sense from the group of what people are looking to get rid of
Right.
and where they can get rid of it.
Right.
So plastic toys always comes up.
Because nobody wants their kids getting
Right.
those microplastics. Right. Gotcha.
Right. And they don't want them just ending up in a landfill.
Right.
So there is actually the Fair Lawn Recycling Center will take
Oh,
plastic
wow.
toys.
Oh,
So
that's good to know.
that was part of our collection, as well as linens, blankets, towels for the animal
I
shelter.
love that.
And we also collected electronics for safe recycling of electronic
Right,
products.
right.
So that was our first big collection.
And where was it?
That one we did in at the parking lot of Keller Williams.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yep.
God bless you.
Yes.
What a great thing to do.
It was great. It was fantastic.
Do
And
you have a date set for this year?
I don't have one yet,
Okay.
but
We'll post it on our website.
absolutely.
and
I
our
will let you know.
Social media. Yeah.
As soon
yeah.
as we know. Yeah, the second one we did was for business attire because that's another thing. And that actually sadly works for both groups because a lot of
sure,
times when a parent passes away, the children don't want to just dump the clothes in
Yeah.
a clothing box.
Or, yeah.
They want it to go somewhere it's going to mean something to someone.
Right,
So
right.
we were able to find a location to that was taking those. So that was fantastic through the Hackensack Riverkeeper. They were doing
I
a
love that guy.
collection.
Yeah. Oh, that's
so,
nice.
Yep.
Oh, good for you. You just don't stop.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to work with other people. So Sir Junk has been fantastic. They're always willing to be present
Right.
and help with the collection.
And probably
so,
give you kind of have synergy with your ideas and stuff,
absolutely,
right?
yes.
So did that sort of help you go into the sandwich club with Megan when you saw how, like you mentioned, that some kids after their parents pass away, not wanting to get rid of their clothing, did that kind of move you into the sandwich?
A little bit. Really, the way the Sandwich Club came about is I was chatting with a neighbor, and she was sharing some information about her family. She's actually has older parents who live in another state, so she was visiting them every 3
that's
weeks
so hard.
to
Yeah.
make sure everything was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we started talking about, maybe meal plans or something, anything she could do for them to ease
Yeah.
their burden.
Yeah.
And we started saying, wouldn't it be nice if
we
there
could-
was a place where we could share all these resources?
Mm-hmm.
So we decided together we were going to start a group, and then she ended up not being part of it, but I started the group. She's part of it now. It's a great place to share resources and
you share little frustrations and things like that too,
Absolutely,
because that's
yes.
got to be. It is a very frustrating time, I'm sure.
I think it's a great place for support because that was really what came out of our conversation is that we're all in a little bit of a different situation, but the umbrella covers all of us. So
And you can relate to what everybody is kind of going through and offers support and empathy and compassion and all of those things, which is hard to come by these days, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other great thing about this group is there are a ton of professionals in the group. So there are people who are aides, there are private aides, there are agencies, there are people from Alzheimer's research groups,
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
nurses, mental health, any kind of resource that someone might need, there's a professional or someone knows a
Available, right.
professional. So it's a great place to gather information.
So I know, I think it was about a year ago that you had your first gathering at our restaurant, World Flats. I got to
Yes.
shamelessly plug that. And so are you still meeting for lunches and learns?
We are trying to, yes. So in the fall, that was such a success, by the way.
I
It
know.
was
Thank you
wonderful.
so much for
Everybody
bringing- yeah.
loved it.
That was great. Thank
So it was
you.
a great opportunity to meet up with other people who are in the same boat. Since then, the group has grown astronomically.
Oh,
We have over 1,000 members now
Unbelievable.
from all over the country.
How in the world do
So-
you manage these things?
Well, it turns out a lot of the members have parents who live in Ridgewood, but they live across the country.
I
So it's interesting.
see.
So they can
That's
still take
fascinating.
advantage of the resources here while they're not actually living
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So we do offer a lot of like the seminar for estate planning. We've had a bunch of different topics discussed. We've talked about reverse mortgages. We've talked about long-term health care, what it is to hire an agency, what exactly they can do for families. So we've had another one on how to have a conversation about taking away the car keys in a
That's so hard.
yeah, so it's there's lots of great topics, there's tons of interest, and it's been a great group.
I can't thank you enough for that because, again, I have some friends that are going through that right now. And I might, because they're not here, they're in Florida, but I might have them look into your groups to, like you said, if the resources, I mean, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily, they might not be able to use the same exact
But they can
resources
look
here, but they
and
can
get
get the
ideas,
support.
right.
They can get, the
Yeah.
understanding of what steps they need to take, if any. So,
Well,
yeah.
let me say this. You are one of my favorite people because you have a heart to serve. The things that you do, I mean, listeners, you have no idea what this woman has accomplished and the impact that she's made on our community. She's a mom of 2 kids, 2 grown kids that are remarkable young women. They've gone off and they're doing wonderful things out in the world. But you know, I think that a large part of that is because you were such an engaged mom. You were the president of the Ridgewood Co-op, which is right at the Methodist Church. We want to give a little plug to them because that is a great school. And then you went on to Girl Scouts, and you were a Girl Scout leader for a long time. I remember you did the Buddy Bench over at Somerville. So if anybody has seen that Buddy Bench, Megan is the one responsible for it. Oh my gosh, you've done a purse drive, a jewelry drive. You've done so many amazing things for this community. I cannot thank you enough. It's just amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And I want to say thanks again for being here with us today. And thanks for your newsletter. I mean, with your contribution to Ridgewood Living Magazine. It's fantastic. Everybody, take a look at Ridgewood Living Magazine and follow Meg. Let's get moving with Megan. All right? Thanks, everybody. We really appreciate you tuning in. Take care.